Y'all, I'm so sorry for all the interruptions. I can't win today with this dog. So we really want to celebrate the positive changes you've seen from your impact within the community. And we're meaning celebrate them like these are small wins for us, right? Like we're not going about boasting the changes we've made in our neighborhoods or this or that. It's all for us, for God, and for our community, okay? We're not like you can surely go share it, maybe for the hope of influencing others to want to do the same. But this is for the local impact, and this is for you. It's not for the internet. It's not for the digital world at large. This is for you to do, to feel in your heart, and that's it. And you will find yourself getting to a space to where you're like, oh my gosh, I was only doing XYZ before because of this, because I wanted people to see it on this. Fame is a lie. Fame comes from the other. There's certainly fame posted and propped up by God. Of course, there are good people who do become well known, but it's because of their actions and not their influence. There's a big difference there. Are you blindly influencing because you're following society, culture, trends? Or are you being of impact because of your kindness, your love, your word, your service, your connection? Which angel and what shoulder are we pertaining to, the angel or the devil here? You really got to think about why you're doing what you're doing. We're not doing good deeds to be seen doing good deeds. We're doing good deeds to become a better person, to make our community, our family, our workplace, our where we live a better place to be. And that opportunity in front of you is not only one worth taking, but it is one of the only ones worth taking because it is real. It is based in reality, in interpersonal communication with another person, connecting with their heart, their soul, their mind. These things are real. This ain't it. This ain't it. Okay? You know it. I know it. Let's start making moves towards that. Okay? We can break ourselves from the chains of digital prison. And in doing so, you're going to see your life absolutely flourish in ways that you would never understand possible because you weren't actually living a real life before. You were living a life for this device. And it's sickening when you realize the impact this thing has had and how much it has taken you away from real people, real community, real family structures, real interaction. Ugh. Finally, we want to think about the long-term sustainability of this practice. Building a life of meaningful influence is absolutely possible. And it's a 1% a day thing, right? Nothing new to the Make Life Rich movement, right? 1% a day growth. That lasting pattern comes from compounding effects. 1% a day is what we're looking for. And you are capable of that. Everyone is. Understanding how consistent goodness creates exponential impact is super important in being able to sustainably give to your community, have that connection, extend that kindness, that joy, that love, that support. Every kind interaction, every kept promise, every moment of genuine care, love, and service builds on previous acts to create a powerful reputation for goodness and also creates a powerful reputation that you hold for yourself, aka those standards, right? We're not going to serve our community, become a pillar and a leader of service and giving and then just dip, right? Like that's not the point of this. This is supposed to be a long-term goal of being a giver, of being someone who doles out kindness like it's their job. Because it is your job. It's all our jobs. Trusting the process is huge. The person who consistently chooses character over achievement and fame creates lasting influence in the real world that extends far beyond what they can see because you're impacting hearts, minds, and souls. This thing is impacting analytics, data, stats, everyone's blood pressure, ADHD, and mental health problems. Yeah. We also want to consider legacy thinking. Consider how you want to be remembered. And it may be a bit morbid and it may make you a bit sad, but in all reality, nothing is promised to us. The minute ahead of you listening to this program right now is not promised to you. If you're given it, what are you going to do with that gift? focus on becoming someone who will be remembered for their kindness, for their joy, for their integrity, for the positive impact they had on others' lives around them. And the legacy of good character extends through the people that you've gifted that kindness with, that influence that you had on them. It touches their lives and leads to a butterfly effect that could never, ever be quantified, but know that it exists. You are opening and awakening the God in others and wanting to lead them to do the same thing, that the kindness, the support that you gave to them will lead them to want to do the same for others. Finally, finding renewable sources of energy for continued goodness is important. We want to let the well-being of others and the satisfaction of living with integrity become your primary motivation. We're not looking for likes. We're not looking for followers. We're not looking for views. We're not looking for press releases, clippings, media outlets. None of it. You could almost go to your deathbed without speaking a word about this. That's how important the anonymity of this goodness is, because it's real and it's for you. It's not for others. It's not to influence for the purpose of fame, notoriety, accolades. It is for the impact of the well-being of those around you, which ultimately leads to your better well-being, because you're creating a community of connection that you also get to tap into from time to time. When your goodness is motivated by genuine care rather than that external validation of online digital living, it becomes sustainable and authentic because it becomes who you are. I wish this for everyone, the choice of helping others over helping ourselves. And we're not to blame for the level of greed and just overall treachery and manipulation that we have grown up in societally. It is very difficult these days to find someone of morals and means out in the culture, out in overall society. And I want to encourage you to look deep into those that you idolize, into those that you worship, into those that you follow, into those that you wish you could be, because I guarantee you the life they're portraying online is not the one they're living. And I guarantee you there is a pit of sadness, emptiness, and utter lack of fulfillment in their life that weighs them down so deeply that they can't even enjoy the fame that they've created for themselves. The grass is not always greener, my friends. You cannot take any of the fame, money, or possessions with you when you die. And if you find yourself a person of faith, remember, we're building towards our treasures in heaven. We are not acquiring here. What we do get here is a blessing and a gift and something we're supposed to give to others and spread the wealth of, not hoard and keep to ourselves out of scarcity and otherness, if you catch my drift. Now, I want to talk a little bit about maintaining perspective, because the world is really salty and spicy right now. And it's hard in these streets for the kind, okay? So we're just going to preface that. Not everyone wants your kindness. And it's going to hurt when you get rejected from trying to give that kindness, that service, that love, that connection. But know this: the long view is that you have to understand that not only is character building a lifelong process for you, it's a lifelong process for others. And building your reputation for goodness is a slow, steady process that deepens and enriches over time. And throughout that time of you doing this, you are going to come across gruff individuals that are just so hurt, so burdened, so saddened that they don't believe for a second they deserve your kindness. They don't believe for a second that your kindness is even real. And those are the people we need to love on the most. Even though it's going to be the most difficult, it might be painful, it might be upsetting. These are the people we need to love on the most and give our kindness to the most. The reward for goodness is the opportunity to be good, the satisfaction of knowing you've made someone's life better, and again, earning those treasures in heaven. And when you focus rather on giving than on getting, you naturally find the fulfillment that external achievements cannot provide. I also want to encourage you to embrace the beauty of a life well lived in humility and humble circumstances. The person who lives with integrity, kindness, love, joy, generosity in ordinary circumstances achieves something more valuable than fame or fortune could ever provide to your heart and soul. And your humble place in the world becomes extraordinary when filled with genuine love and service to others. And I truly cannot nail this on home enough, but I want you to approach this new way of living with compassion for yourself, for the cultural programming that has absolutely taken over your heart and mind with setting your North Star to achievement, success, and fame. I want you to know there is personal vulnerability ahead of you in sharing your own struggles with desire for recognition and the journey towards contentment with humble acts of service. It took me a while, okay, to accept that I may never be famous. I may never be well known by millions and millions around the world for this podcast or my writings or my work. But that doesn't matter because we were never meant to have this large of the ability of influence. We're supposed to be influencing locally and even smaller, starting with just our families. I want to give you permission to find satisfaction in a humble, ordinary life. And I want you to consider for a second, if the life you're living right now is all that is there for you, though that may feel daunting, if you find yourself in a space where the life you're living isn't the one you want to live, accepting that this may be the space that you need to reside in for a while cultivating your gratitude, your generosity, giving from a space of not having much or not feeling like you're ideally where you want to be, is going to fulfill you in ways you could never imagine and is very seriously going to enrich the current life you're not enjoying right now and turn it into one that you very much do. And then any extra thing that you've been coveting or wanting or working towards that comes into your life will truly be an addition and not your entire life. If I'm focused on giving and being kind and fame does find me, that's the cherry on top, but it's not the sundae. The sundae is our work. The sundae is our connection. The sundae is our love. The fame and the notoriety that may come, right? May come is the cherry on top. And when you approach life in that manner and you look at the life in front of you that you may not love or enjoy as the sundae and know that you get the generosity and the beauty of this gift every day of this sundae from God that he gives you by allowing you to wake up, then you get to revel in all that that sundae is before you start to search and want more toppings. You feel me? I hope that this has been a helpful part 2 for part 1. Part 1 was extremely long. Part 2, I wanted to be a little bit more digestible with some actual tips and things that you can do to get yourself living this life. It's one that's going to take some work, okay? If you dive right into it and it's natural to you, God bless you. But for me, it took a lot of work. I'm a naturally kind and giving person, but it was the motivation behind it that needed to change, okay? There's no shame in acknowledging that. And I think it's really beautiful to find yourself in a space where you know you're doing all right, but you could be doing better. And it's that doing better moment and doing it for the betterment of others, the community around us, that is the true change that allows everything else in your life to fall into place beautifully and naturally as it was supposed to. My Richies, I hope this was helpful. If you find yourself on this journey, please DM me. It would be lovely to speak to someone else in this place in life. As always, my DMs are open. You can feel free to email me. That is in the show notes. You can feel free to comment on Spotify and YouTube. I'm always responding to you there. It truly makes me cry every time someone comments to me. It means the world to me for you to all be tuning in from 43 plus different countries in the world. It's still bananas to me. And if you think this episode and part 1 or part 2 would be helpful for someone in your life, please do share. I do not do advertising. I refuse to be a part of that corporate mess. I am simply growing as a show based on your sharing with others. And it truly means so much to me for you to consider me someone worth sharing. So thank you for all of you that are doing that. It is just the pleasure of my life to be able to bring this to you, my Richies. And I'm just so thankful for your time and attention. I want to wish you an absolutely wonderful week ahead. And as always, make life rich. God bless.